produce a TV sensation. And I'm sure, even if it's 5 a.m. in Germany, millions of fans will set their alarms and brew coffee in order to be thrilled in front of the TV. Because one thing is clear, Klitschko versus Jennings in this world-famous boxing mecca, this title bout is going to have a special magic. Thank you.
That gives a little international flavor to this press conference and just an idea of how big this event is worldwide. To have an event like this, you not only need a great champion, but you need a great challenger. Bryant Jennings has proven himself in the ring many times. He's undefeated. He beat, in his last 2 fights, he beat 2 other undefeated heavyweights. Artur Szpilka here, also Madison Square Garden at the theater, in the last fight that earned him this victory. Without risk, there's no reward. And he took a big risk by fighting Mike Perez, who was undefeated also with K2 on the last show we did in July here at Madison Square Garden. He won that fight, and with that win, his credibility skyrocketed also on HBO. And that's what makes this such a great fight. Undefeated challenger from Philadelphia versus a great champion. I had the pleasure of co-promoting that fight with Perez with my good friend Gary Shaw. I want to introduce Gary Shaw of Gary Shaw Promotions. Now to introduce Team Jennings.
Thank you, Tom. First of all, just for the record, Jennings is no Shannon Brits. That's for the record. Obviously, I want to give the first, yes, I lost weight, so don't ask that question. Next, I want to thank, obviously, certain people on the right-hand side of Deus, my good friend Ken Hirschman, who I've done just untold amounts of fights with, and appreciate, obviously, HBO airing this live on HBO. I think that's huge for the boxing community. We get enough pay-per-views, but fights like this you don't get on just regular HBO. So personally, Ken, I thank you. I think it's just tremendous. To Tom Loeffler, who I've done several fights with, and I consider him a friend. And unfortunately, in this industry, you don't have too many friends. But I do consider Tom a friend and a good business partner. David Berlin from the New York Commission, good to be back. Thank you for your comments. And truthfully, this is the mecca of boxing, and every great heavyweight that's ever fought has fought here. Joe Fisher, a good friend for many years, who's got a great venue here, and nothing could be more meaningful than doing the heavyweight championship of the world here at Madison Square Garden. This is the mecca of boxing. The ring is in the Hall of Fame. This is all what heavyweight boxing is all about. Obviously, Ern Bonte, thank you. I know you never thought we would be here today, but when you got Shelley Finkel on your side, it gets done no matter what. And obviously, Wladimir, I thank you for giving us the opportunity at your 4 belts to be the unified champion of the world. I had a distinct pleasure of doing the Lennox Lewis, being the promoter of the Lennox Lewis fight with Vitaly. So, yeah, 5 belts. I hope there are 100 belts because Jennings has been working out to carry them all. But honestly, I had the honor of working with Vitaly and now the honor of working with you. You are probably the 2 best heavyweight brothers for sure that ever fought in this game. You have a huge legacy, and we have a huge amount of respect for you, what you stand for, and what Vitaly stands for. I mean that sincerely. So, on my side, there are several people to thank, but one in particular is not sitting here, is sitting there, and that's Josh Dubin, the attorney for Ryan and for James Prince, who spent endless amount of hours making sure that this fight came off. So So, Josh, I don't know where you are, but wherever there you are, thank you. I personally appreciate all the time and the effort. And obviously my staff for always being loyal and sticking by me. Before I introduce the trainer and James Prince and Brian, today is almost historic, as April 25th will be historic. 25 years ago, and 1 week exactly to the day, February 11th, Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. So you can all go look it up, but you'll find out it's 25 years and 1 week exactly to the day. I believe on April 25th, history will once again be made for the American heavyweight to do something spectacular. But this time, instead of being overseas, it'll be here in the United States in the Madison Square Garden. So I'd like to bring up at this time the trainer, Fred Jenkins, to say a couple of words on behalf of the training and of Bryant Jennings. Fred?
It's a pleasure being here. 43 years in boxing, and you get an opportunity to fight for the biggest fight of your life. Usually you say the fighter's fighting, but the trainer is fighting too. Usually every time he get hit, I get hit. Can't you tell my jaw's swollen already from working in the gym sparring? But I would say I want to thank everybody, and especially the Klitschkos and HBO and manager Jay Prince and Josh for doing all the work of getting this fight done. And we've been truthfully trying to get this fight 3 years ago. Three years ago, I get a phone call from Klitschko people, and they said, could Bryant Jennings come out to spar? And the first thing I said to them, I said, no, we don't want to spar you, we want to fight you. That was 3 years ago. 2 years, a year later, they did the same thing. They called up and they pleaded, could we get Bryant Jennings out to spar with Klitschko? I said, no, man, we looking to fight. We not looking to spar. And all of a sudden, this is made, that is made, and bam, Klitschko agreed to fight Bryant Jennings. And it's like a gift, what we've been asking for. And how do you know the pedigree of where Bryant Jennings come from? He's going to give it all he got. And this is a one-sided fight, and I believe it's going to be all Bryant Baba Jennings. I want to thank y'all.
Now let's see. Brian's been fighting a total of 6 years. If you want to fight Klitschko after 3, that's a trainer who believes in his fighter. But it will be a great fight. Next, I want to bring up the manager for Bryant Jennings and a longtime personal friend of mine. We shared Diego Corrales together and have huge memories from that trip. And I believe we're going to have huge memories on this trip with Bryant Jennings. It's my honor to bring up James Prince.
Good evening. I'd like to thank God for this opportunity. Thank HBO, Madison Square Garden, Gary Shaw Production, Antonio Leonard Production, K2 Promotion, and great city of New York. Once again, this is a dream come true for us, and we actually can't wait. We know that there's a lot of doubters out there right now, and they feel as if there's no way Bryant gonna be able to deliver a victory come April 25th. I would like for you all to show up, because Bryant is gonna show out, and we shall be champion April 25th. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to bring up Brian. Before I do, I just want to give you a couple of facts to think about. Wladimir has won his last 21 fights in a row. And Bryant has won his last 19 fights in a row. Age, one is 39 and one is 30. Height, one is 6'3" and one is 6'6", but I'd like to get you measured. 38. I apologize. He's a year younger, and he's for sure 3 inches taller, because he is the biggest 6'6" I've ever seen. I've been to enough basketball games in this arena to know what 6'6" looks like. Style. One is very athletic. One likes to punch, hold, and lean. And one has the experience, 66 fights, yes? 66 versus 19. So there are a lot of stark contrast to their styles, their age, their height, and the way they fight. One can get old in the ring on April 25th, and one's heart can never be measured. And a lot of times it's that huge, big heart with that huge athletic talent that comes out and prevails when all odds were against the other side. It's my honor to introduce the person that I believe will be the next heavyweight champion of the world, holding 5 belts on April 25th, live on HBO and right here in Madison Square Garden, Bryant Bye-Bye Jennings.
I'm glad I can stand up. Sitting on that stool with my leg bent, I needed to be pacing or something, be throwing some punches or something. It's a great turnout. It's nice. It's nice. Real nice. This is it, right? I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'd like to thank Klitschko and his team, for giving us this opportunity. I'd like to thank my team, Antonio Leonard Productions, Gary Shaw Productions, Jake Prince, Fred Jenkins, Josh Dubin, and my team, my ABC gym in my city of Philadelphia. It took a long time to actually have this fight, actually take place. And through it all, I stayed calm. I like to, commend my team, and I specifically talk about my manager and my lawyer, pretty much just for allowing me to be not only the athlete that I be. I'm a great person. I have, some amount of intelligence. I ain't stupid, but they allowed me to, be hands-on with my career. And this time, I probably would have said, God dang, because this fight took a long time to make. Them guys worked hard, endless phone calls, and I just commend them for that. But here on April 25th, history would definitely be made. And it will be made by me. And I always say, they ask me what the fight outcome going to be. I say I'll end in a knockout. So it's either going to be me or him. And the only thing I'm doing is disrespecting the possibility of the outcomes, which is win, lose, or draw. One of us got to lose. I'm willing for any outcome. One of us has to lose. But guess what? I don't think it's going to be me. I mean, I'm ready. I'm quite sure he's ready. I respected his style. I respect his legacy. I've seen things that he's done over the course of the years. It's definitely untouchable in my lifetime. I haven't witnessed, nobody as such. But, I'm not here to praise him. I'm here to praise myself. And give you guys a warm-up. I feel the heat right now. I'm usually good right now, but I need to fight. So, enough of the talking. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'd like to thank my team. I'd like to thank his team. I'd like to thank HBO. Everybody in HBO staff, the whole Madison Square Garden, New York State Athletic Commission, everybody who had anything to do with this fight. I'd like to thank all my supporters, and I'm gonna go take a seat. I mean, because I'm getting hated. I mean, I just can't wait till training camp start, and you know, I'm ready to go. Best believe I'm ready to go. Yeah, though.
You see what makes this such a great matchup. Bryant was the mandatory challenger for Deontay Wilder, and yet he chose to fight the best heavyweight champion in the world. Wladimir wasn't obligated to fight Bryant, but he chose to seek out the best available challenger. And that's what makes this a great championship matchup. Just to reflect on what Emmanuel Stewart, a person and a trainer who had a lot of influence on Wladimir's career and his life, said, simply, welcome to big-time boxing. This is big-time boxing. It's a big step between a heavyweight fight and a heavyweight championship fight at Madison Square Garden, and that's what you'll see on April 25. With that, I want to introduce someone who's had a tremendous impact on Wladimir's career, his marketability, really the mastermind behind the TV deals. When you've seen the fights in the big soccer stadiums in Germany, he was the one that really had an influence on that, and all the marketing deals and sponsorships. I want to introduce the CEO of the Klitschko Management Group, Bryant Jennings.
Thank you, Tom. Hello, everyone. It's great to be back in New York.
Guys, you're lame. Come on, we're not at the funeral party. We're at the lunch for the great event. Good day, New York. It's so great to be back here. It's so great. It feels like first time. Where were you 15 years ago? I was here fighting. I kept fighting for the past 15 years since I was here first time in 2000. I was fighting in undercard of Michael Grant, Lennox Lewis. It was an exciting night. And you know what? I had this feeling and excitement to be at Madison Square Garden. That's a dream, so you understand. It's a dream of every performer, entertainer, to perform and have main event at Madison Square Garden. There's nothing better than this arena. Worldwide. And if you made it that far, that means you made it. You made it. This is the high stage of entertainment, and this is the best arena in the world to be seen at. And Frank Sinatra said it right, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. It's not just about New York, because Madison Square Garden is New York as well. So it's also about Madison Square Garden. And I think that this arena was a great, great jump into the bigger sport for me, and great beginning. I'm glad to be back. This is going to be 5th Klitschko fight, 4th my fight at Madison Square Garden. Thank you very much to be part of this big family of New York, big family of Madison Square Garden. Of course, I have certain connection to the city. I used to live here. I used to spend a lot of time. I still have my friends that are going to come to the event and watch me fight. And I want to say thank you for all the compliments that was given. Actually, I was sitting, I didn't feel comfortable. I don't know about you, but I didn't feel comfortable. It was a lot of things, as I considered as a compliment, but it puts a lot of responsibility as well for me to keep having the same level of performance that I set up, and I cannot put it lower. So I would say, let us, Brian and me, entertain you on 25th of April here in New York at Madison Square Garden. I'm sure you will enjoy it, as any heavyweight championship of the world, and I'm sure that this fight will bring a lot of tension and a lot of energy. I just see how Bryant Jennings acts. I see how he walks. I see how he shakes his hand. I see how he speaks. He has the quality of Rocky Balboa from Philadelphia. He made it at this stage where he's sitting right now, and he's not realizing this is one of the highlights, or maybe you're realizing this is one of the highlights of your life, to be at the stage where you're at. And I want to congratulate you with that. And definitely paying a lot of respect to what you've done, because you haven't started early with boxing. You started late, but you went already that far. So congratulations. And as I said, we definitely will entertain you on that fight night on 25th of April. I want to say thank you to HBO. Eventually you believed in me, and I'm back on your network, and I'm happy about it. We've been together for such a long time. By the way, 15 years ago was my first fight on HBO, and it was staged from here, from Madison Square Garden, as I mentioned before. So I'm happy to be back because I know all the guys that work for the company, and Ken, we've seen each other. You were at my boxing matches in Europe, so you've seen how things maybe we do it differently over there, but it's exciting. It's something that we can also deliver here, and fans around the world, they're the same. They're the same in their basics. They're excited about performance of the athletes that are and sports that they like. And I'm sure that boxing is one of the most ratings in sport. And as a matter of fact, boxing is one of the sports that has never filmed from 1800 something. So it's definitely the right sport, right event, right arena, right city, and definitely right opponents that are going to face each other. I want to say thank you to every person that's going to attend to the arena at the fight night. Thank you for every person that's going to watch the fight, the Klitschko lovers and haters. I love you both because you make it. The whole energy is one side is hoping to see Klitschko lose eventually. The other one is going to be happy to see the Klitschko win. But that's what, one more time, make it live event exciting because nobody knows how it's going to look like. Nobody knows Rocky Balboa going to make it or not. Nobody knows, but everyone enjoying it. That I can be there as well. If he made it, I can make it too. And I'm sure you can. There's nothing that can stop you from all your dreams. And that was our dream with my brother. To become champions at the same time. Trust me, those belts that are right here. There are 5 belts. By the way, Gary, you're an amazing promoter. Before I found my own promotion company, thankfully I didn't meet you. Otherwise, you're going to end up as my promoter. You're doing a great job. So I want to give you that compliment as well. So these 5 belts are here for a reason. I've been working to collecting and unifying them. This is not simple. You see the peak of the iceberg, and this is the boxing fight. But behind the boxers, there is an entire team of physiotherapists, lawyers, and at this stage, and I'm just sharing an experience with you guys. Sorry for talking that long. But at this stage, it's a saying and it's a joke, but it's not really. When you're getting higher, it's maybe sometimes more important to have a good lawyer and not a good coach. Because there is so much politics between the federations and sanctioning bodies and this and that. And, there's certain rules and you have to get it all done to get the unification fight. It's very complicated, but makeable. So I've done it. And I know that, Brian, you chose me. I don't know. On one side, I was thinking, did he actually choose me? I mean, like saying, yes, I'm going to fight Klitschko because he want to fight the strongest opponent or the weakest. So am I the strongest or the weakest? Obviously, as a thank you. As a champion, of course, I have to say I'm the bad man. I'm the baddest man on the planet in boxing, at least in my sport. And you know what? I've learned a lot in the past years, and I have facing different opponents, and that had some respect and had no respect, and there've been different occasions. But this experience I will carry over until my fight as well on 25th of April. I want to say thank you for all the attention, to all these long speeches that you've been listening to. Thank you. I'll see you all on April 25th. And of course, I cannot forget about my home country, Ukraine, that is in a war right now. And this aggression from our neighbor, Russia, is upsetting the world. The world is getting a little bit crazy with ISIS, with all terrorism that we have. With a war between Russia and Ukraine, actually, it's a war that nobody wants to see. And it's so sad to see innocent people die for nothing. There is no reason but political, geopolitical ambitions. And that needs to be stopped. So I hope the peace in Ukraine will come soon. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you on April 25th. And Brian and I, we will entertain you in the world best arena, Madison Square Garden. Thank you.
We want to thank everyone for coming out.
Get that camera down, man. Please.
Photographers here in the front, please get down. Let's take care of the cameras in the back first. Cameras in the back first. Photographers here, down, down, down. Hold on, you'll get your chance. Cameras in the back. Cameras in the back, man. Cameras in the back. All right, guys, right here in front.